Welcome to We Learn Virtual Learning Network. This is session number 22. Has to, have to, had to of Let's Learn English. Has to and have to express a compulsion or a necessity in the present. Example, I have to pay the bill. Necessity. You have to say sorry, a compulsion. I have to pay the bill can also be said, I need to pay the bill. You have to say sorry. We cannot say you need to say sorry. You have to say sorry. It is compulsory for you to say sorry. So this indicates compulsion. We can express any necessity using this structure of have to. In singular, he, she, it, we use has to. Like, she has to work hard. He has to meet his boss. You have to fill the form. How to form negatives? Negatives are formed by using don't have to, doesn't have to. Here I would like to remind once again, has and have are helping verbs as well as main verbs. When we use these as main verbs to change into negative, we need to have a helping verb. Like in case I read newspaper every day. To change into negative, I don't read the newspaper every day. Here, I have to cook food. I don't have to cook food. If you say I have not to cook food, it is wrong. It is incorrect. You have to use the helping verb do or does. Do with I, you, we and all plural nouns, and does with he, she, it and all singular nouns and pronouns. It is a little tricky to change into negative. You require a lot of practice. But negatives will be formed by using don't have to, doesn't have to. Let's look at the examples. You don't have to come tomorrow. That means there is no need for you to come tomorrow. She doesn't have to pay the fee today. That means there is no compulsion on her to pay the fee today. So please remember, necessity, compulsion, has to, have to, no compulsion, no necessity, doesn't have to and don't have to. As we all know, had is the past form of has and have. So here also past form of has to and have to is had to. Had to is the past tense form of has to, have to. It expresses a necessity or compulsion in the past. It's over. Examples. He had to pay the fine. It happened earlier in the past. He had to. He was made to pay the fine. It became compulsory for him to pay the fine. So, when we want to indicate that compulsion in the past tense, we use had to. She had to attend the party yesterday. Here, it is not a compulsion, but it is a necessity. There was a need for her to attend the party yesterday. She had to attend the party yesterday. I had to receive my parents, so I went to the airport. Again, a necessity, because my parents came, so I went to the airport. I had to receive my parents because I had to receive my parents at the airport. There was a necessity for me to receive my parents at the airport, so I had to receive my parents, so I went to the airport. Again, to change into negative, we need a helping verb because no sentence can be made in negative without a helping verb. Here, the helping verb we use is did. Remember, in the past tense, the helping verb used is did. Negatives are formed by using did not, have to. And with do, does, did, we always use first form have, not has. She didn't have to go to office yesterday. That means there was no need for her to go to office yesterday. There was no necessity. I didn't have to cook last night. We went out for dinner. That means there was no need for us to cook dinner, for me to cook dinner, as we went out for dinner and we had dinner outside. He didn't have to pay the fine. Here, there was no compulsion on him to pay the fine. He escaped that, and that's why we used he didn't have to pay the fine. Remember, I had to, I didn't have to. She had to, she didn't have to. He had to, he didn't have to. Because there is only one common helping verb in the past tense, that is did, we don't have to bother about whether the noun or pronoun is singular or plural. For everything we use did not have to. Will have to expresses only compulsion in the future, not the necessity. Remember, only if there is a compulsion to do something in the future, we use this structure will have to. But if there's a need to do something in the future, we use has to have to. Only thing we mention the time, which indicates that this action is going to happen in the future. So, to express necessity in the future, we use has to have to. That is present tense. And we mention the time with it. But to express a compulsion in the future, we use will have to. I have to give a presentation on Monday. This is just a necessity or a need. We have mentioned Monday, so that indicates it's going to happen in the future. But structure we have used is have to, which is present tense structure. So please don't bother about changing it into will have to, because will have to will indicate only compulsion, and here there is no compulsion, but there is a need for him to give a presentation on Monday. She has to renew her license next month. That means there is a necessity for her to renew her license next month. When there is a compulsion, we will use the structure will have to. She will have to give up her job. That means there will be a compulsion on her to give up her job in future. Due to some reason, it could be marriage or some other personal reasons. You will have to apologize, which indicates there is a compulsion on you to apologize, and you will do this in future. You have not yet done it. So, but you will have to apologize at some stage to put things in order. So, will have to indicates only compulsion in the future. That's all in today's session. Thank you. Happy learning with We Learning. Names